Welcome back, guys. This is Crayfish Carl again with a Pong tutorial series. So where we left off was we had a mostly functioning Pong game, but it could use a few tweaks. For one thing we can do is go ahead and click on the ball and change the initial directions it can go. Because sometimes in playtesting it might go vertically, but we want it to start off as either going to the left or right. So what we can do is go to Movement. In our initial direction, we can limit which ones it's allowed to start at. We can press the reset button right here to clear it all, and we can click on all these. So it can start facing either this way or this way. So now when we run the game, you'll see that the ball now starts properly. And now, another thing we can do is actually change the direction it faces whenever it leaves the play area. So if we go to the events, go ahead and click on the behaviors and press edit. Now it says if the ball leaves to the right, we're going to right click under here and say direction, select direction, uncheck this, and it's going to go to the left now. And you press OK. Right click under where it says leaves play area on the left. Highlight direction. Select direction. And because it's already facing right, we can just leave it like that. You press OK. So now, when we say run frame, you'll see that the ball properly, it changes direction whenever you score a point, just so that it's a little bit more fair. Let's go ahead and X out of this. Now we need a screen that says player 1 wins or player 2 wins. We need to go back to the storyboard editor, which is the same screen that you saw when you started up your game for the first time. Let's go ahead and click on storyboard editor, which is this button right here. Let's go ahead and make another frame. You can just press 2. Now let's rename this to player 1 wins. Now let's press the 2 next to it and go ahead and enter it and edit it. Now here we can add a whole bunch of other things. Think of this as another level or another screen. But we are going to make this just have some text that says player 1 wins. So we're going to right click and press insert object. We want the string object, which is in the S's right here. And you press OK. And let's go ahead and insert it in. We're going to change this text. We can double click on it. Let's call it player 1 wins. Now there's a little bit more we can do. We can rename it. So player 1 title. And if we look over here in this black letter A right here, we can click on it. We can click on it right there. It's called the text options. We can change the alignment to center. We can also change the font color, and we can change the font itself. So let's pick a new font. So how about Algerian? Sure, that works. Let's increase the size of it to, let's go with 26. Press OK. Now you see that the letters are cut off, but that's okay. We can extend this a little bit so you see more of it. And also because we set the horizontal alignment to center, it will automatically center itself. And then let's add some more text. We need another string object. Press insert object. String. And let's go ahead and resize this. And we're going to type here, press space to restart. Let's go ahead and give that a little bit of centering. And we can just leave the font like that for now. And also, if you want to, you can change the background color. If you just click where it says player 1 wins. And you see the list of properties you can do with this frame. We're going to look for background color. And let's choose blue because that's the color of the player 1 paddle. Now the next thing we need to do is actually make it say, when you say press space, that it will actually restart the game. We're gonna go ahead and click on the event editor for this frame. So objects can have events, but frames can too, and even the entire game. But what we want is the event editor for this frame. Let's go ahead and click here and press new condition. We're gonna right click on the keyboard, highlight keyboard, upon pressing a key. Now it's gonna ask you what key you want to press. So we said space, so let's use space. Now I have to right click under the chessboard, which is the storyboard controls, and say restart the application. Now this is not quite enough because the game area won't actually take you to this winning screen yet unless you tell it to. But before we do that, we're going to make the other player 2 winning screen. So let's go back to the storyboard editor. Now we can save a little bit of time by just cloning this. So we can right click on the frame and press clone. Let's go ahead and rename it to player 2 wins. Let's enter it. Now let's edit the text, double click on it, press say player 2 wins. We can also rename it just for the sake of consistency. And then the event that we copied and pasted, which is right here, it's right here because it was a clone of the frame. But this is like a brand new object that we can edit, just like how we cloned that paddle. But anyway, let's go back to the frame editor. And let's also change the background color. We're going to make it red. So let's click on player 2 wins, background color, and red. Just because it's the same color of the paddle. Now to finish this off, let's go ahead and we're going to go back to the game area right here. We're going to go to this event editor. We need to check to see how whoever gets to a certain point value. Let's go with 5 points. Now let's go to new condition. We're going to right click on the player 1 score. Say compare the counter to a value. We're going to say that it's going to be 5. And also, it's generally good practice if you're counting up to something, change to greater or equal. So just in case for whatever reason it goes higher than that, even though that probably won't happen, but you never know. Let's change the equal to greater or equal. And you press OK. We're going to right click under this chessboard right here and say jump to frame. Now, because this is player 1 getting all the points, we're going to select this frame for the ones that says player 1 wins. Let's press OK. Now, we need to press new condition. We're going to do the same thing, but for player 2's score. We're going to right click and say compare the counter to a value. We're going to say greater or equal to 5. And you press OK. Now right click under the chessboard again, say jump to frame, and then under player 2 wins. So now the game should be functioning now, but this time, because we have multiple frames, we need to use a different button to test it out. Rather than F7, we're going to use the F8 key, or you can go to Run, Application. So now, we're just playing some Pong, scoring some points. And let's just see what happens. So player 2 won that time. Let's press space to restart. This time, let's let player 1 win it this time. Yeah, I'm going easy. But this is for testing purposes. Alright, so our game now works. We now have a separate ending screen for whoever wins the Pong game. You can press X out. And then, of course, you can, if you want to say change to 10 points, you can say double click on this, on one of these, and then type 10. But we're going to go with 5 for now. So I'm going to hit cancel. But now your Pong game looks a little bit better. In the next video, we're going to talk about the title screens and sound effects, just to give it more bells and whistles. But for now, I'll be seeing you next time.